for you. And there are different anointings, different levels, put you in different places to operate in different callings. As a pastor, I was anointed to pastor. As a bishop, I was anointed to oversee. What we have to realize is that even in operating in both church and government, I did not have authority to operate in government until first I was installed through inauguration.
Yes. Yes.
So just because you have an anointing on your life to be something, until you have been laid hands and inaugurated to do so, you do not have the authority to operate in that power or ability.
Listen.
So when we talk about King David, even though he was anointed to be king, he did not have king's authority.
Yes, sir.
He cannot walk up and say, off with your head and your head rolls. He did not have that ability. He understood that he was not even in a position to touch the king. That's why he said, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. You've got to understand, until you have been given authority, you're just an anointed vessel.
Just anointed.
Many people get this twisted. This is why we got a lot of bastard churches out there.
Oh, come on, sir.
People who proclaim, please hear this, people who proclaim that they've been sent out, but nobody sent them. So what takes place is that somebody comes in and they say, you are anointed to pastor. And the person automatically says, oh, I've been called by God.
Come on, sir.
And the truth is, they've been called.
Come on, sir.
But you've been called for a specific season. Notice how I didn't say time. You've been called for a season. Season does not deal with time. Season deals with position. Position and season operate in the same, because when the earth is in a certain position, it is spring. A next position, it is summer. Next position, it is fall. Next position, it is winter. So in order to be able to be pushed out and placed in a position of authority, you have to be able to be in your season to do so. Which means that you have to be in position. So when Elisha asked Elijah for a double portion of his spirit,
yes,
Elijah did respond and says, if you see me go up, in other words, if you are in the proper position,
yes,
to see where God is taking me, then you shall receive my mantle.
yes.
If he was out of position, remember there was other prophets in the school of the prophets. There was other prophets. But those were the same ones that was telling Elisha, listen, you need to move from Elijah, because don't you see his time is up?
Yeah, go somebody else.
Huh? All of a sudden, because you done prophesied it a couple of times, you can tell us that the master prophet's time is up.
Yeah.
You can tell us the one who has schooled us and teached us that you now have more authority than which he has, but yet he still walks this earth in which the authority for which God has placed upon him. And as people underneath that certain authority, if we do not protect the calling and the authority that's on our man or woman of God's life, then we are in direct violation. This is why the man who brought the head of Saul and had told King David that he had killed him, that King David had him assassinated on point, because he did not have the authority to kill the one who was in position. So here we are as a body, and God is calling us. He's saying you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. There's a calling on you. There's a calling on you. But just because you call don't mean you can operate in that type of authority.
That's right.
All of a sudden, because you got a prayer shawl, you ain't talking to me, and you went and bought a robe, and you went and bought a Bible with your name on it, don't mean that you're in position to operate in the authority of an apostolic leader. People are walking around and proclaiming themselves, but even Jesus himself did not proclaim himself. Jesus came unto Paul and he said, suffering us be so. Even though John the Baptist, he went to John, he said, suffering be so that the word may be fulfilled. And he said, I can't lay hands on you. It should be you lay. He said, suffer us this moment.
That's right.
If God, who is the creator of all things,
Yes.
can humble himself to his creation.
Yes. Yes. Amen. Amen.
If God, who is the creator of all things, can humble himself to his creation so that his word would not be void,
Oh, listen.
what makes you think that God is going to skip past you and skip past his son and tell you that you don't have to operate in that authority?
Yes.
There are people that are pulling themselves and putting themselves into position. And watch this, they may be called to do it. But even prophecy is in part. And if you step out of season, then you're going to put yourself in a bad predicament. If a seed is planted out of season, it dies. There's no growth.
Oh, God.
Are you following me? So God is calling his people now